Pro, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I filmed this in the Substack platform and then went to jump over to cefconnect.com and it booted the entire show. So I have to restart. April 21st. I hope you're having a great start to your day. We're just going to do this all over again because, hey, it's all burned in my brain anyway. S&P 500 currently sitting at 71.63. WTI crude at 87.95 on Brent, gold at 4,800, and silver at $78. Ooh, very exciting. Now, I know everybody's already asking, you're already looking at it, you're jumped over to the site, you're all really excited, and you see that this is happening. We're just having a token issue, so we just have to take care of some things, plug a few things that talk to one another. These are just the growing pains of this. But good news is Triples is here. Hey, 101. But in addition, there is a reading. It is listed in the email below. We're just pulling this out of the offline sandbox that we had, like what we were operating before. And that's going to take us to 97 on the S&P 500, NASDAQ at 28, Russell at 80, all confirmed bullish. Look down in the momentum holding section, and obviously that will be noted momentarily in our conversation. Hey, all right, let's dig into our conversation for this morning, and let's start completely over because I was on page 5, and we just get to do it again. That's all you got to do. Just do it again. It's fine. Let's put me in the frame, though, so that you can see me. Oh, there I am. Look at me. Look at that guy. Real excited. The setup today is that the ceasefire is currently expiring tomorrow, and Iran may or may not show up today. J.D. Vance is just hanging out, seeing the sights in Pakistan. Trump saying he is highly unlikely to extend the deadline, but if it expires, a lot of bombs are going to go off today. Futures holdings are up, and once again, oil pulling back just a little bit. This feels like geopolitical theater, as does everything at the moment. And once again, headlines will swing and the markets will whip, but nobody really knows what's real right now. Watch the VIX. If it breaks above a key level, that is what we need to be noticing, and that is obviously being pulled. Look at the chart in the screener below. Midstream remains the trade for this whole story because while everything's going on in Iran and everybody's distracted, the WTI crude, the VIX level to watch is 2104, 21.4. There you go. Nailed it. All right. Crude tankers are heading to the U.S. Gulf Coast right now. 171 of them. That's way more than the monthly average. 28 super tankers are booked for May loadings at 2 million barrels each. Do the math. 56 million barrels. Normally we have 5 coming through. So unprecedented volume. The midstream gets paid a toll on every unit that flows. They care about volume, and volume is unprecedented. For K1 exposure, look at the EMO, and that's where we crashed out trying to, provide a little bit of insight, just a tad, just trying to help. But no, we have to completely start over. Thanks, Substack. Good job, guys. Nailed it. I don't know how technology works. All right, NAV, right? That's that blue line. That is the net asset value. That is the sum of the parts of ClearBridge Energy Midstream. It has pulled back and it has pulled back. And while it has pulled back, the price dislodged a little bit more from that net asset value. So the average discount is around 7.8 on the year. The highest that it kind of moved, we saw, very close tightness here back in July when we were at minus 2.3%, and the low of around 12.2%. But now what you're looking at is an 8.8% gross distribution paid monthly plus this discount. And we're looking for that to narrow over time. Portfolio characteristics, what's in this? Targa, Energy Transfer, MPLX, Kinder Morgan, all best in class. Enterprise Product Partners as well. I feel great about that company. And Intero, another great midstream name that doesn't get as much attention. Somebody looking for something else at a discount with a little bit of insider buying activity, that would be Kayne Anderson Infrastructure. And as we saw in the most recent report, we saw buying from the executive vice president. That just happened On Friday, $65,000 in purchasing from the EVP. The president bought last week and the CFO bought in March. So when management is putting their own money in at a 14% discount to the net asset value, that tells you something. Distribution rate at the gross level is 7.7. Obviously, there's going to be expenses that need to be pulled, but this is at a 14% discount, and the portfolio characteristics are very comparable to EMO, Energy Transfer, Kinder, MPLX, Enterprise Product Partners, and Williams, all best-in-class names, all with that heavy focus on the midstream. Buy this stuff at pullback levels. Do it. Headlines today: Apple has tapped Ternus as the next CEO. I talked about that in the morning burr. This is telling us where this company is heading, and it's going to be in hardware AI. He is not a services president. He is not a product. He is not a person who is product oriented in terms of the way that a Tim Cook was. This is telling you that they're not going to try to make another $100 billion in services and apps. I can only do so much with how many Apple TV offers I get. Instead, this is about the future of that AI hardware. So that's very important to note. It tells you exactly what the destination is for the company. The Bank of Japan warning on hedge fund JGB risk. Foreign hedge funds now 60% of Japanese government bond trading, 78% of futures. Funny how incentives work. Sell-off could trigger a massive unwind, and the Bank of Japan will meet next Monday. Caesars and Golden Nugget are in a deal together, extending their talks with Tillman Fertitta at $32 a share. Caesar shares are up 1.6% this morning. Kevin Warsh's confirmation hearing will be a theater today, and it will be fascinating to see if anybody actually talks about how money enters the economy. Oh, can't wait. Janet Yellen's going to talk. Who knows? It's going to be fantastic. And it's just going to be a lot of noise because, as we note, the entire plumbing of the system has been rewired by the Treasury Department. They should be talking to Bessent, not necessarily to Warsh. Spirit Aviation is seeking a bailout because, well, airline companies are not good at managing cash. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to move on. The EEPA tariff refunds are open. Businesses can now claim refunds on $166 billion in invalidated tariffs through the new portal. Checks expected by the summer. I don't have a claim on that. I did not import any airplanes. Here is our reading right now. We'll have this up and running in a little bit, but 97. The NASDAQ snapped its longest streak since 1992 on Monday. The signal did not flinch. Cap weighted came off sharply from Friday, Meta down 2.5%. The top is lighter, but the breadth is holding. The Russell came in stronger overnight. Clean small cap move while Megas pulled back. Tech is at the top at 38. 9 of 11 S&P sectors are positive. Energy is the holdout. We have a lot of screamers to crashers that typically aligns with how we operate in terms of looking for a little bit of a short-term top, but we're just not there yet. The BSX has just arrived on the crasher list. That is off 12% on the month. The signal remains bullish, but these are lopsided readings. So, of course, as always, be cautious, play defense, look for opportunities to squeeze additional dollars where you can. If you are happy to sell calls on existing positions, do so. Look 10, 15% away. And if we do get a pullback heading into the end of the second half of the second quarter, then again, it's about pocketing the money that is available to you. You could take a 20% gain by selling calls and not be upset if the stock blows through that level, or if the stock does pull back, you're generating income. 2-to-1 on the buy to sell. There was some larger purchases yesterday, but Wednesday evening really remains the test around what's happening in the broader financial markets and the geopolitical tensions. Top buy was KLRA. That was at Bain Capital, buying 134 million in shares. Top seller ANET, 55 million by the CEO. Once again, we're in a blackout right now. 26% of the S&P 500 is going to be reporting earnings this week. So it's really going to be important to pay attention to what, if anybody really misses badly, and there's a steep downside in the wake of that earnings report, look and see if the CEOs and CFOs buy and basically try to stop the bleeding. Oil jumped 7% Monday, and bonds rallied right alongside. The 10 years at 423, the lowest since March. Money got nervous and went looking for shelter. The UAE Central Bank is asking about a currency swap line. We talked about this yesterday. They've hinted that they might price oil in yuan, which once again would be a little problematic, but again, we are looking at the stablecoin operation as a way to help stabilize U.S. debt underlying U.S. debt. Japan has pinned at 160. The BOJ meets next Monday. If they hold, Japan sells treasuries to defend their currency. So once again, we are looking at the shifts in how the financial system is operating. And as I have noted, Bessent is building something bigger than any single Fed chair appointment. So watch this. Stablecoin legislation and the Clarity Act is moving through the Senate. It is a digital on-ramp funneling global dollar demand into debt markets. Once again, everything is up in the air. We're not in control of any of it. I'm going to go outside today and work on a garden. It's 10-gallon hat season for West Texas Intermediate. Let's see what happens today. As always, if you have questions, you know where I am. Go to the comments section, ask a question. If you don't have any questions, don't ask. We'll talk about something else. I'm totally fine with that. I hope you guys have a great day. If you have anything else, you know where I am. I will be out in the garden. Have a great day. Stay positive.